Hi guys, Amy here, also known as Hidden Treasure Picker here on YouTube. In case you're new to my channel, I'm an online reseller. I sell mainly on eBay. I also sell a little bit on Poshmark and Mercari as well. Today we're going to do another What Sold video. I'm going to go over some sales that we made between August 19th and August 25th. We want to go over about 13 sales, so stick around for that. Alright guys, like I said, today we're going to go over these sales that encompass a time frame between August 19th and the 25th. We have about 13 sales that I want to go over, some on eBay and some on Poshmark. As usual, I will share the sales with you that I think are the best sales to go over. These are usually going to be anything around the $20 mark and above. We do typically sell a few things that sell for a little less than that $20 mark, and we typically just don't go over those in these videos because I feel like those aren't as important to go over to show you guys, what do you want to be on the lookout for. I want to go over those higher dollar sales that really show you what it is that you want to be on the lookout for. So let's get started. First up, we have this Magnavox DVD VCR combo unit. So this one actually did not completely work. The VCR portion of it didn't function. It would eat tapes when I tested it by putting a VHS in. It would eat the tape. Therefore, I had to basically sell it as parts only. But it still ended up selling for $30. And I believe this one I actually got for free at a garage sale. These people had a pile of free things, and this was in their free pile. I bought a couple other things from them as well, but I did pick this up, especially since it was free. But typically I will pick these up anyway. Usually we'll only probably pay about $5 or less for them because you never can be sure whether they are fully going to function or not. And in some cases, depending on the model, you might still be able to sell them for around this $30 mark if they don't completely function. Other models, though, they might not sell well at all if they don't completely function. So typically, I don't like to spend a ton on these. So it was nice that I ended up getting this one for free at a garage sale and selling it for $30. So that was still, a really good profit to be able to make. Even if I had paid, like I said, $5 for that, still would have been worth it to sell it for parts for $30. So typically Magnavox is one of the best brands to look for in these DVD VCR combo units, because typically they are going to sell for a good amount of money if they are working, and if they're not, they're typically going to sell for you probably right around this $30 mark, even just for parts. Magnavox is a very good one to be on the lookout for when it comes to these units. All right, next, I'm kind of going to go between eBay and Poshmark sales. This week, I'll kind of jump back and forth just because we had a pretty equivalent amount, actually, of eBay and Poshmark sales during this time frame, which is strange because usually most of our sales do come on eBay. For whatever reason, this time frame had a very weird mixture of both. So I'm probably going to jump kind of back and forth. So that one sold on eBay, that DVD VCR combo unit. This next one is going to be a Poshmark sale. This was a Timberland men's puffer vest. Found this for $5 at a garage sale, and it ended up selling for $27. All right, next, another eBay sale. This was a pair of Ralph Lauren sunglasses. I found these for only $1 at a garage sale, and they ended up selling for $42.47 on eBay. Ralph Lauren's a pretty good brand. Some of their clothes and things don't sell quite as well as they used to. Well, not for as much money as they used to. But these sunglasses actually did really well. Like I said, $42 for a pair of sunglasses, and I had only spent $1 for them at the garage sale. That's really excellent. So be on the lookout for things like this. All right, another Poshmark sale. Here we have a pair of Harley-Davidson women's boots. These I paid about $4.03 for at the bins, and they ended up selling on Poshmark for $40. So in case you're new to my channel or just haven't heard people talk about the bins before, the bins is also referred to as the Goodwill outlet, and it's where you pay for everything by the pound instead of paying for each item individually. It can be a really good way to source items for cheap. I especially like to find things there like shoes. Your preferences might depend on how your bins are. At my bins, my favorite thing to source is typically shoes. So that's mainly what I get there. Sometimes I do find some hard goods. Clothing isn't something I really get into at the bins. I've discussed that in previous videos. It's just too time consuming, in my opinion, especially the way mine is set up. But shoes is one of my favorite things to source. I don't find a lot of hard goods, but I do typically look at hard goods. So yeah, that's a great find. About $4 into $40 is absolutely wonderful. And I'm sure most of you have heard of Harley Davidson before. It's a motorcycle brand, and lots of people like to buy things that are Harley Davidson branded, like boots, clothing, etc. All right, back to eBay. Sold a pair of Keen women's sandals. Paid $1.48 for these at the bins, and they ended up selling on eBay for $25. So, good example of why I like to source shoes at the bins. Especially when it comes to things like sandals, they're typically going to be super cheap because they're not usually very heavy. So paying $1.48 for these and being able to sell them for $25, wonderful turnaround, wonderful profit. All right, another Poshmark sale. We have these Nike golf shorts. Bought these for about $3.66 at Goodwill, and they ended up selling on Poshmark for $18. Back to eBay, a pair of Vionic women's booties. Paid about $2.55 for these at the bins, and they sold on eBay for $27. On Poshmark, we sold these Dansko women's booties. Paid about $2.55 for these at the bins as well, and they sold for $30 on Poshmark. Back on eBay, sold these Hoka men's running shoes. Paid only $1.91 for these at the bins based on their weight, and they ended up selling for $35. Poshmark sale for a Tommy Bahama sweater. This we paid about $3.20 for at our local thrift store, and it sold for $21. Back to eBay. These were a pair of Timberland men's fisherman sandals. Paid $3 for these at Salvation Army, and they ended up selling for $32.80. And these actually sold extremely quickly. I feel like I only had these listed for about a week or two before they sold. So that may be a really good thing to keep your eye out for. Apparently these do pretty well and sell pretty quick. At least that's the experience I had with this specific pair. All right, for our last Poshmark sale, this pair of Carhartt shorts. These paid about $4.15 for at Goodwill, and we sold them for $20 on Poshmark. So I don't know if you guys are noticing, but a lot of these brands are brands that I have talked about before. If you have watched any of my previous videos, I've talked about a lot of these brands before and how they're definitely good brands to be on the lookout for and to pick up when you find them. So as you can see, these type of brands are still selling. Some obviously for more than others. Some are, a little bit lower, but they're typically going to sell for you. Now, depending on what kind of profit margins you want, some of these brands may not be worth picking up for you. It just depends. Obviously, we're always fine with these kind of profit margins. That's why we pick these things up. But I always want to mention, these brands so that you guys can see what brands are good to look out for. I made a shoe specific video before. Actually, it was a two-part video of the best shoe brands to look out for. If you didn't see that previously, check my channel. You will find those videos. It gives you lots of shoe brands. I'm pretty sure it was a total of 50 shoe brands to be on the lookout for. I like to tell you guys this information so that you know what brands to look for when you're outsourcing. Because I know that can be really difficult to learn. That's one of the hardest things about, reselling, is learning all the different brands that are worth picking up. Because most people don't know that, when starting out. And sometimes even after you've been doing it for a while, there's always new brands that you can learn to be on the lookout for. So, some of these brands that I've mentioned today that sold, shoe brands, Keen, Vionic, Hoka, Dansko, these are all really good shoe brands to look out for, and they're typically going to sell for you and for pretty decent profit depending on your buy cost. Good, other types of brands to look out for, like clothing brands like Carhartt, Tommy Bahama, Nike, Harley Davidson, Timberland, whether it's shoes, boots, sandals, clothing. I mean, Timberland has a range of things. A lot of these brands have a range of the different types of items that you can find that are going to be profitable for you. So just, again, this is why I like to do these what sold videos, because I like to let you guys know what brands are selling right now, and in general, what kind of items are selling right now. So our last eBay sale that I wanted to go over isn't a very, brand specific. This is more an item specific type of thing. This was a big mouth, Billy Bones, hanging, singing wall fish. I'm sure you guys have probably seen these animatronic fish before. Some of them look like a regular fish. This one is more like a skeleton looking one. It's like a skeleton of a fish. So more specific towards, like, I guess, Halloween or something like that. But this was a big mouth, Billy Bones, singing animatronic wall hanging fish. I got this for only $2 at a garage sale, and it sold on eBay for $39.97. And here's the kicker. This wasn't even completely functioning correctly, and he still sold for $40. I feel like, the thing is he did still sing, he still makes noise, but his tail, I think, is supposed to move, and his tail doesn't move. All of this I, mentioned in the listing, so that the buyer was aware ahead of time that it didn't function 100% completely. You always, anytime you sell something like that, don't be afraid to sell things that aren't 100% functioning, because a lot of times they are still going to sell. So don't think that just because you found something that isn't completely functional, don't be scared that it's not necessarily going to sell. Do your research. It could still sell. Maybe not for as much as it would at 100%, but things like this. This is just it's a popular item that people want, and apparently, even if it's not 100% functioning, it's still partially functioning, and apparently it was still worth it to someone then to pay $40 to have this. So, and again, like I talked about at the very beginning, that Magnavox VCR DVD combo. VCR part does not work. The DVD part seemed to work fine, and someone still bought it for $30. So again, don't always be completely afraid to pick up things that aren't 100% functional, because a lot of times you can still sell them and make a profit. Not always. You want to do your research. Look up eBay comps. You can filter to parts only, like as in the case of the VCR DVD combo, and, find out what those things have sold for before in that kind of condition. And then determine if it's worth it for you to pick it up. So, yeah, that's all the sales I want to go over today. I'm probably going to go ahead and get off of here and get to doing some work. If you like this video, please make sure to like it. If you have any comments, questions, anything like that, comment below. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. That'll help my channel, and it'll help you to be able to see when I post new videos. All right, guys, until next time, keep on hunting for that hidden treasure.